No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut. No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut.
Why, hello there, slutties. Welcome to the Suburban Slut Podcast. We cover everything from kinkery, fuckery, sluttery, and everything in between. Show's a little different this week, as you can already tell. I'm missing a gorgeous, breathtaking hottie next to me. Sadly, Tish is not here today. She's out living her best slut life like a boss. Girl, go get your dick wet. Have fun. Today's episode is a special episode. This is our first house guest. Insert fun waveboard sound, applause. No, that's not how this works? Damn it. Okay. Anywho's, this week we are joined by Sluts Party co-founders Bri and Nat. You can find them on Instagram at Sluts Party Chi, C-H-I, on Instagram for their upcoming events, great advice, and their link tree to get tickets to their Studio 69 party this Saturday, March 22nd from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. at Never Have I Ever Bar. Disco isn't dead, the sluts are bringing it back. And it's also Nat's birthday, so hey, 2 for 1, let's go, let's go. Also, make sure to give their podcast a listen and follow on your favorite podcast supplier. Their additional podcast is the Fun with Sex Podcast, and that's hosted by Nat and John. Also, be aware, their next party next month is their Slasher Party, and bet your bottom dollar, Tish and Sammy will be there in full effect for our first time with them. We really cannot wait. We've been ecstatic and excited to finally come to a sluts party, and this is our first one, and we cannot wait, and we hope you will come out and join us as well. Also, for next month, it's also Bri's birthday, so the Slasher Party is Bri, the Disco Party is Nat. You should come to one, you should come to both. I mean, come to them all. I mean, come on, let's get slutty and fun. We hope you enjoy our interview. Make sure to like and follow the socials for Sluts Party at the end of the episode, and come back next week to hear us read emails, discuss consent, and talk about exotica. As always, please follow and rate us on your podcast supplier of choice, as it helps us build the community and grow our neighborhood. Thanks for sliding in this week. Whoo, lordy, I need a cigarette after that. Stay safe and stay slutty, people. Well, hello there, slutties. Tonight we have a house guest for the first time. It's our pleasure to host Natalie and Bri from Sluts Party Chicago. They are one of the hottest up-and-coming groups in the area, and they're building an incredible community, and we're beyond happy to have them here to talk all about it. Bri and Natalie, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate your time. Really, we do. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So as always, we like to break the ice when we have guests over. So we would like to play the good old sexy sex game with you. Are you ready to give it a go?
Yes.
All right. So Natalie, I will start with you. Favorite pizza / topping combo. So we can talk crust, we can talk toppings, whatever is your absolute favorite go-to.
I am a true Chicagoan, so I do enjoy deep dish, but it's an occasional thing. If I'm gonna order a pizza, I go, thin crust, tavern style,
Yep.
sausage and onion, specifically Lou Malnati's
Oh,
with the butter
so good.
crust. Very good.
Good choices all around.
Bri, what say you?
I'm in the same boat generally with Nat on the true Chicagoan. I enjoy specifically a Lou Malnati's butter crust deep dish on occasion, and the deep dish on occasion is a spinach pepperoni with like hot jardinera on it.
Ooh,
but then like a more regular go-to order would be like a thin crust with pepperoni and broccoli, actually.
And seeing everyone always assumes it's deep dish. It's like, hey, deep dish is good, but it's like once in a while. Come on.
Exactly.
There's really good thin crust in Chicago too.
I don't think I've ever had broccoli on my pizza, so that's a really interesting combination. Pepperoni and broccoli. All right, I'm gonna try
Throw
it.
it in there too, and it's like next level.
All right,
Like
that
a
sounds delicious. All right, next question. Do you prefer a good cuddle or a nice makeout? Brie, let's go first.
I'm a cuddler. I like a good cuddle with my dog, a human.
Just body contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something between like my knees, just like clenching it.
For sure. That sounds like one of the most comfortable positions. But if you don't have the thing between your knees, it's no fun.
Yeah, it's just not the same. And I feel like it just kind of keeps you like even. If you're like cuddling something on the top, you gotta have that like hip to shoulder ratio balanced out, or the cuddle gets all like weird.
Right? Is there science to cuddling, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, what do you say?
So I'm gonna go with cuddling. I think one of my weirdest traits is like sometimes I'm just a little bored by kissing. Like I either want to do something like really kinky or just like cuddle and be super tactile.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like just lay here with me. No, I don't want to move. I
Mhm.
don't want to be active. Just rest. Ah. All right, where are we? Number 3. Oh, we're already moving along. All right, Natalie, back to you again. What's your all-time favorite sex position combo? So with this one, everyone always asks, like, what's your all-time favorite? And it's like, well, I have like 2 or 3. So that's why we like to ask, what's your top 2? So your number 1, your number 2. If you get those in a night, aces.
Yeah, so I am absolutely a doggy style girl. Like, oh my God, it is just my favorite position.
That angle.
I'm very much like a hardcore sub, so there's also just like so many
Oh,
variations you can do with hair pulling, spanking, like pushing the head down. So I absolutely love doggy style, and that one is really fun for three ways as well. The other members both have penises. Gets a little tricky if you're giving oral to somebody with a vagina, say, but
Tish knows
we can
about
still
that.
make it work. And then I would say my number two, I love just a good like missionary where I can really hold you.
Me and Natalie are like the same, but like sort of reverse. And like mine's
Oh, okay.
little like I don't necessarily need this like every single time, but like my ultimate
Yes.
favorite would be like missionary, but like up the bum. The best feeling. And then my like number two with the doggy style. I just feel like it without fail is gonna be the position that like gets me to the end.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, like Natalie was saying, especially with the 3-way with the doggy style, it's laying down in front, someone behind, switching around. Yeah, that's a fun one in a 3-way.
Porn too, like if you're filming, it just
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
angle.
It just looks pretty.
Photography and everything. Yeah, it looks good. But you're not wrong. If they have a vagina, it's like a headbutt into the over,
Yeah.
and it's not. I mean, it's fun for a minute, and then it needs to change.
You're like, I need to focus. Stop it.
You do, especially if you're the girl that is giving in that situation. Like, I'm like, I gotta be so on top of it because I'm getting like
Right.
fucked very aggressively, but I don't want to jam my teeth into you. So,
Right.
No, no, no.
highly skilled position.
Mhm. Agreed. All right. Let's go on to the next question. What is the hottest thing anyone has ever said to you, Bree?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like the hottest thing that anyone has ever said to me. I actually like thought about this beforehand a little bit and was like really trying to like comb through my memories.
It's a thinker.
It's not like that what the person said was hot. I don't know. It's very like random actually. I just remember I was like dating this person. He had like a little bit of an accent, so maybe that like played into it. I don't know.
Mm.
But we were just voice memoing each other back and forth. And he was talking about like drinking a like really ice cold Dr. Pepper like in a hot shower and like
Oh,
it in detail. And it just really like did it for me.
All
that
right.
sounds
I
nice
love
right
that.
now.
I don't really know how to
I'm gonna have to try that tonight now. I'm like, cold Dr. Pepper in a hot shower and try to make it sound sexy. I can do this.
apparently great experience with the lights off in particular. Like
Oh,
All
like
right.
hot shower, lights off, drinking cold Dr.
Very sensory involved there with the dark and a lot of senses involved. All right, Natalie, what about you? The hottest thing anyone has ever said to you?
Specifics, but I definitely very much love the moment where like me bratting out turns into me getting punished and fucked. Like
Mhm.
I
That
love seeing
works.
that switch take over where he's just like, this is how I'll handle it. So that's super fun. I also recently had someone get employed at a sex store and they were saying that they were gonna take me there. So that was like a really
Ooh.
fun recent one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is the fun one. This is one of Tish's questions she created. Suddenly there's a sexy genie. Not more show if he's Blue, Robin Williams, whatever genie version you like. He's going to give you 3 sexy wishes. So there's no limits. There's whatever you want. Imagination can run wild. Natalie, what would be 3 sexy wishes you would wish for?
When I do get bratty, I get the exact punishment I want and not the one I don't want.
There you go.
That's a good one.
I wish, like, you know, all these people who were like tangentially into sex positivity would get over their homophobia and biphobia,
Oh, that's
and we
Yeah.
could
beautiful.
all just have such fulfilling experiences instead of the weirdness that goes on from in other spaces.
That's an
Mhm.
amazing fucking wish right there. My hat is off to that one.
And, you know, from a personal and marketing standpoint, I'm
Mhm.
just so sick of the censoring online on TikTok and Instagram
Yep.
when I want to talk about this stuff because it's like, you know, especially me posting my more sex educational content, it gets
Right.
so frustrating because it's like, oh, I'm just trying to educate people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know I actually took a lesson from you because we were trying to do Instagram ads and they would be up for 2 hours and come down. Someone finally pointed out it's like you actually say slut. I'm like, yeah, that's the name of the show. No, they don't like that word. And I realized I'm like, oh, you guys have the dollar sign. So I
Yeah.
contacted my graphic art guy to him, like, yeah, I need a dollar sign there. If you could do send it back. So thank you for that tip. That definitely helped me see that.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
Bree,
in
what
the
say
works
you?
of trademarking that dollar sign, so
Hey,
I'm saying it on the public record now.
all right, Bree, you got 3 for you. What say you?
Um, I definitely like for my own personal needs would love to be able, and maybe it's I haven't had this experience yet. Maybe I have
Mhm.
the potential, but I would love to experience like multiple orgasms. Never have. That would be dope. And
Nice.
so that's definitely, if not a wish, a bucket list item.
Mhm.
I think I would wish also for just like an unlimited. I'm a big like sexy kink wear costume
Oh, okay.
person. So to like tap into some of my like girlier desires, maybe like just unlimited kink wear closet.
Just a closet
Just
like a
make
mile
things.
long.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like sky's the limit. And then maybe it's I wish to find somebody to make out with me at the next Sluts Party.
Hey, that's a good wish too.
I rarely do that. I rarely do that at our party.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we've been host models for parties out here, and they make it sound like, oh, when you're a host, you'll get all this attention. It's like, no, I'm too busy running around doing everything. And then by the time I can sit down, it's like, oh, party's over. All right.
Yep.
It's funny, your guys' wishes were so much better than mine. One of mine was just that cum always tasted like chocolate. So your guys' were way different than mine, and I liked them a lot. So let's do the last question here. It's the last thing you masturbated or came to. Brie.
Um, Mine was like a actual like porn video. It was like a couple of nights ago, and it was I've been very, very into actually like just some like bi porn where it's
Mm,
like MMF like bi porn.
yep.
Like a little kind of like three-way where like guys fucking the guy who's fucking the girl.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Chef's
really
kiss.
doing it for me.
Yeah.
Don't know the name of the video offhand, but that was the general like topic.
But it did the job, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it did the
Oh,
job.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Natalie, what about you?
It was a very fun one-on-one experience with another femme. So
Very
yeah, that was
nice.
really fun.
It's fun when you can do stuff like that.
Somebody on here like watch their porn.
What
Like
do you
where do
mean?
you like source your porn from?
Oh, we are old school
Yeah, you're gonna
as
laugh.
fuck. We have DVDs. And
Damn!
we continue to buy DVDs.
Oh hell yeah.
So throughout the
Yeah.
year, we do like a couple here and a couple there that are
Right.
different genres or stars that we've found that we liked. We'll buy some of theirs or whatever, but we legit have a stack of DVDs.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's
I
fun too.
like
Like if we rave cave or, we just put on the lights and be like, oh, let's just throw on some porn and it's just on in the background. Every now and then you look over, you're like, I want to try that. Hold on a sec. Hold on. Pause the video. Hold on. Let's get in position. It's inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's not lie. I've looked at internet porn as well. Like that's obviously
What?
something I've done, but it's not. I'm not a big porn watcher solo, so it makes a difference. I'll watch it with somebody and I will watch it solo, but it's not the first thing I go to. So I don't source it out myself a lot, but it's mostly the DVDs for us.
And see, for me, like, getting ready in the morning, like, absolutely, I'll just go to Pornhub, phone, shower. It's like, all right, let's see. And it just kind of really depends on the vibe that day. But like you were saying, a lot of the MMF, like the buy MMF, whew, that does the job for me almost every time. I'm just like, and it's time to go to work. Okay. All right. So that's a sexy six. Now we're ready for some questions. Tish, you're taking the lead.
Yes.
Got this?
So, the first question is really kind of directed more towards Bree, just because of something that we saw on your Instagram today. But obviously, both of you guys are welcome to provide any answers that you
Oh,
have.
yeah.
So as a bisexual, straight presenting femme, we learned that you felt a bit ostracized in the spaces available for you and not quite fitting in with queer spaces and never really felt safe in straight sex positive places. So when was the moment that you thought to yourself, Chicago really needs a slut embracing dance and play party, and I'm going to make that part of my mission?
so this was really like quite a collective come together moment, I think. John, who's not on the call, and then Natalie were throwing parties at their house, sex positive
Oh,
parties
house
among
parties.
like yeah, house
Yeah.
parties kind of in their current apartment that they have now. And I was dating our other co-founder Lola at the time. Her and I started dating. She introduced me to John and Natalie, who were throwing these sex positive parties at their house. Obviously, much smaller scale. It was more just like close friends, mostly just bi-centered, but still a very like queer space and a very consent forward space that like I had never experienced before. I really had been exploring the scene for quite a while, probably for the last like 10 years since I
Oh,
was in my
wow.
early 20s. So, in that kind of like 10-year span, the places that I explored, it was a lot of more like what you would, I don't know, categorize as a more traditional like swingers type
Yeah.
party or event or house party or whatever. And particularly being like femme presenting or like straight presenting, feminine, young. You almost felt kind of like targeted, which is why I sort of said like never felt fully safe exploring those spaces like by myself. There was like a good chunk of time where I was exploring it with a partner, but also then after like me and that partner were not together, I was exploring on my own and it was like extremely anxiety inducing. There were many times where I would like drive all the way out to a party, get to like park my car, and then
Yeah.
just like sit in my car, have a panic attack, and then just like go home and be like, I'm not doing it by myself. So I've had lots of experiences like that over the last 10 years, and then as well as just kind of not fully identifying with maybe like my queer identity and feeling really like I fit in like super kind of like sapphic or like lesbian spaces.
Okay.
Going to like John and Natalie's house party was just so comfortable and there was zero pressure. There was like none of that weird like sex pressure that I had experienced before. Like most of the parties I think that I've been to at Nat and John's house like really didn't play with anyone besides like the person I came with, which was
Mhm.
Lola. That was like a big eye-opening experience for me. So sort of like when John first came with the idea of like making these parties bigger because like us
Yeah.
as well as our friend network that was like coming to these events was like, yeah, I it would be great to like have another space. I think there's more of us out here. It was really like this just aha moment. And so when John kind of like came to the group, we're like, hey, who wants to do this? I was like super eager.
Oh
I was
yeah.
annoyingly eager about it because it just felt so right for just the what I had been experiencing, especially as a single person too. I feel like it's kind of again just like hard to navigate the sex positive community as like a single female because it just becomes very like sex first sometimes so much about like community building and there's not as much recognition for like bi identities.
Mm-hmm.
It can be kind of like fetishized a little bit, which is like annoying.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say, is that sometimes at those like straight centered sex positive parties where it's not quite as talked about or accepted, if I wanted to be with a woman, it was very fetishized. And it was more like a show than it was like a part of the actual party. So I could totally relate to that. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like when I was in my early 20s, that was, I don't know, I feel like as I've gotten older, this particular event that we're hosting like speaks so much more to me now that I'm a bit older and a bit more confident in myself. I think when I was younger, there was actually kind of an appeal to being like putting on a show or like fetishized. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's kind of like my own insecurities and sort of just wanting attention when you're like, I don't know, feeling insecure and a little unsure. But as I've sort of like grown to know myself and like matured and gotten older, I feel like this party now more than ever just makes so much more sense. And if
Mm-hmm.
we can like provide a space for people that I didn't like really realize I wanted or needed until I was like in my 30s to like a younger generation, I feel like that can do nothing but like positive things for people just
Yeah.
across the board.
I love that. Absolutely.
Natalie, is there anything you want to add to that?
I think I can give like a little bit of the background of like the inspiration of Sluts. So my partner John was the one who came up with the idea to have a sex positive dance party where there's no play. Because like kind of what inspired us to even have our own play parties back in July 2023 was the fact that we were traveling to all these swingers clubs and sex positive dance parties, and we just couldn't find what we were looking for. And then we went to a dance party when we were traveling, and this was like around the same time that John was getting into house music and dance music. And he just kind of had this like realization of, oh, like there are other cities where they have all these different sex positive events. And that is just not a thing in Chicago at all. And right, like we're meeting all these people through field, through other events, and we're inviting
Mm-hmm.
them to our play parties, and everybody keeps validating, like, yes, I've like been needing a space to be sex positive in, especially because like Brie was saying, we curate our parties with absolutely no pressure to play. You can literally have your clothes on the whole night and hang out in the no play area, and nobody would see that as weird. Even I sometimes don't feel like playing. So, just kind of that idea of, hey, you can meet other sex positive people like you might at a munch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we can also like dance and get some cocktails and listen to like pop house remixes, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, I lost my spot. I'm a professional. There it is. All right, so we have seen that you guys have crafted such fun themes for the parties, such as Slut Stock, Merry Kink Mess. That was one I was really hoping to go to. And make it
Mm-hmm.
sexy Santa, clearly, with the beard. So, and Slutty Circus. Where do you guys get your inspiration for themes and how do you come up with them? Natalie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so it's honestly very random because, like I said, we did the play parties for like quite a bit of time. So, a lot of the themes, the whole idea of the themes started with the play parties because everybody's always, what do I wear to a sex party? And we're like, okay, we'll just do a cutesy little theme. And that way, you know what to do. So, our first sex party was actually Barbie, and the first sluts party was
Oh,
Barbie.
Okay.
And then Kinkmas was also like a theme I came up with last year at Garden of Eden. We basically have been taking a lot of those themes and just like putting sluts into the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then like everyone on our team will just get like random different inspiration.
Okay.
And yeah, we're all just creative people, so I feel like we're always just coming up with stuff.
It's really hard to fit the word slut into it, like wherever we can.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
When it doesn't maybe fully work, but like we really want it in there.
Like you can't force it, but
Sometimes we usually just we have like a lot of different like kind of like think tank group chats going on as well. So usually amongst like our core team, we'll just be like, yo, everybody like brain dump into the chat theme ideas, and then we'll sort of like rattle them around. Or we pull from like music festivals too, like how we're doing the Alice in Slutterland one is kind of, we tried to line that up with Beyond Wonderland one. So like it kind of gets people excited about like things, and maybe people can reuse their outfits for like a bigger festival that they're going to. So then they're gonna want to like join in on our party. So there's a little bit of strategy, but otherwise sometimes it's just kind of like random and whatever sounds fun or sounds good with the word slut.
hey, love it. We get it being the Suburban Slut Podcast, so we got you. Yeah, especially with repurposing because we go to clubs, we go to EDM festivals. Yeah, Tish has a whole drawer of stuff where it's like, well, this could work for this upcoming event, but I could also wear it to North Coast or beyond. It's like, okay, multi-purpose.
Yeah. I literally have a whole Alice in Wonderland lingerie thing that I threw together for Beyond
Ooh.
Wonderland last year. So I'm like, oh my God, I have a whole nother occasion to wear it to.
I
You
love
don't-
that.
You didn't wear it on the rain day, did you?
No,
Somebody
the
did.
rainy day,
Oh,
I had this whole like mesh pink thing and I was freezing,
Oh,
but
yeah.
And muddy and all of
Yeah.
the other things. Yeah, that was a messy day.
yeah. We had these awesome outfits, and then we walk in with hoodies and a raincoat, and there's pictures of us just. We'll always say it's the most miserable fun you can have because we're dancing and partying, but we're also like shivering, like, yeah, this is fun. All right, Tish, what do you got?
What if you have a cast on? What happened to your arm?
I know, insert the classic, oh, it's masturbation joke, but I'm just old and clumsy. I tripped and fell and just landed on my wrist wrong. And of course, tore a ligament because I am not the young man I used to be. And this was the fun thing. We were actually just at a party and I had the cast on. I'm like, this is going to be a challenge because I am right-handed. I'm like, I guess I could try the left hand, and yeah, it was frustrating, but I made it work.
It has been frustrating. The right hand is my hand. That's the my hand.
That's the Tish hand.
So, but we make it work anyhow.
Yeah.
You a speedy recovery then.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question is kind of a big one for us. We have an episode that's covering consent. And so we know that you guys are really huge on it. And since it's something that we're covering, chime in and tell our neighbors like what the importance of consent is to your parties and why.
I'll let you go first.
You know, I think consent is one of those things where a lot of people are hesitant to talk about it or fully acknowledge it in a lot of spaces because it brings up discomfort in them,
Mhm.
because people don't want to go into the nuance of it because they kind of get into this defensive headspace of, oh my God, you're saying I'm a rapist? And it's like, no, anyone is capable of misreading a nonverbal cue or not picking up on someone's hesitation and trying to proceed with something that that person doesn't want in that moment. And so I think a lot of people, they kind of go hands off or they have the very basic consent policies of like, yes is yes, no is no, and they don't want to go into the nuance. And I think it's also because if you are going into the nuance, it is going to turn away a lot of the people who are paying the most amount of money to be in these spaces because they're more predatory, typically men who want to prey on women or more vulnerable people and kind of prey on that whole gray area of things, right? And it's like really just having consent policies and procedures and talking about it openly. I just kind of view it as setting everyone up for success. You may be someone where you know, like my partner John, for example, he doesn't get super triggered by much. He's, you know, this big muscular dude, so he doesn't often feel unsafe. Whereas for me, like, I have a lot of trauma. I also know a lot of our community members do. I
Mm-hmm.
come from a background of being a woman who just gets harassed and catcalled all the time. So something as simple as someone just kind of like proceeding without asking me first, or touching me intimately without asking,
Oh yeah, no.
or not picking up on my nonverbal cues, it gets me into that very anxious headspace. And now I'm like, fuck, I'm not feeling super comfortable to play or to flirt or do whatever. So it's just like having those clear guidelines, it gives everybody the language to be able to navigate it and talk about it. And then, especially if there is a bad actor, people are feeling more empowered to report that because they know we do take that kind of thing seriously.
Definitely. I think even having been in the lifestyle for almost what 8 years, we said, so
Yeah.
we're up there. It's still something that if it doesn't always get asked. And I'm like, after this long, how have we not made this change where everybody's always asking for like even I really like the people who are people I've played with before, but ask for consent the next time anyways.
Oh yeah.
Because just because I've played with you before doesn't mean I want to fuck you again. You know what I mean? Like I hate to say that, but like, and it doesn't mean I want you to touch me intimately again. It doesn't mean I want to kiss you again. There shouldn't be no assumptions there, and I think that that's really good. That it's a big thing for you guys.
I think, like, at least from my perspective too, we would like it to transcend beyond like sex positive spaces as well into just like everyday life of like interacting with other human beings.
Amen.
Not as like common sense as you would hope, and it is terrifying. I have plenty of friends, and unfortunately, I mean, consent violations can happen to sort of like across the board, any gender identity, any like sexual orientation doesn't really matter, but particularly like young women friends of mine that I have tell me just like all these horror stories. And it's
Oh yeah.
almost like no big deal though to them, where it's like it's happened so much at these like sort of weird, uncomfortable, like being completely ignorant to like body language, nonverbal cues, just kind of like not reading the room at all leads to like making someone uncomfortable, making someone sort of feel afraid. But then at some point they become desensitized to it, or they have trauma that from it that they're like pushing down. And it can really come out in some like nasty little ways. And I know I've experienced that. I know pretty much everyone on our like all of my co-hosts have experienced that, which is a big reason why we push the consent language and education. Because if
Mhm.
somebody can sort of like be reinforced with like what our consent policy is, what our goals are with consent, and like be very open to it instead of like offended, like that's somebody we want at our party. And hopefully we are teaching people like some new things that they can take with them like outside of
Mhm.
it.
I think for a lot of people, what I hear a lot interacting like at the events is so many people are afraid to do this type of thing, to go to a sex party, to go to a sex positive event, to be in a space wearing just lingerie, because they saw how seriously we took consent,
Oh.
content we put out, that's what made them feel safe to do so. So
Mhm.
that's why I always feel affirmed event after event of like, you know, keep putting out consent content, keep being in line with your morals and integrity and everything.
Mhm.
Because for people who are very, very anxious, especially coming from a trauma background, something as simple as just like seeing a reel on consent that day is kind of like, okay, I can relax, I can breathe a little bit
Right.
easier, you
It's
know?
like a nice safety blanket, like, oh, okay, I feel safe. All right, we're good. And see, for me, from a guy's perspective, I know a lot of, dancing and clubs guys are like, whoa, they were given signs and moves. I'm like, but did you ask? They're like, well, why would I ask? I'm like, dude, here's the thing and this always surprises people when I tell them. The last party we went to, I asked every single girl, like, hey, is it okay if I kiss you? And 3 out of 3 times, all of them just said, like, I really appreciated that. Well, yeah, I wasn't just going to kiss you and find out, like, oh, that wasn't okay. I'm like, you have to ask. It's not that hard to do. You're already like trying to do the intention of like, I want to have sex or, play or do something. How hard is it to really just simply ask, is this okay to do?
Yeah.
Reassure the audience that like it is not a turn off to be asked.
Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah, no.
Women like it, guys.
No,
No, for sure.
Yeah, and it's even cute, even with Tish. I'll still ask her every now and then. We're married. God, we're gonna age ourselves. We've been together almost 16 years.
We've been together for over 16 years, not almost.
Don't shame me. Don't shame me in front of our new friends. Come on. I think it's even cute, even in a established relationship, every now and then, just be like, hey, is it okay if I kiss you? And it's like, oh, All right. And then I had completely lost track. That was a hell of a question there. Good job, Tish.
Thank you.
All right. So, how is Sluts Party different? And I know this is going to sound a little repetitive, but I still want to find all the details. How is Sluts Party different from other clubs events in the area? And what can our slutties expect at a Sluts Party? Obviously, the consent. So, take your notes. Consent is king.
I know from, yes, like the consent thing is for sure something we put at like the forefront of all of our like online marketing, when we like talk to people in our DMs. After every event, we put out like an anonymous consent violation form for anyone who like disclose anything anonymously to us. So yes, that's at like the forefront, which I think is our probably number one differentiator. And I would say our number two differentiator is focus on like bi and pansexuals that you just really don't see in any other space.
Yeah.
And there's clearly quite the group of people looking for that here in Chicago and beyond, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, even out here in the suburbs, like we go to more local parties like, out this way west and south of Chicago. A lot of clubs and parties, and we're not naming names, but there's a lot that are not okay with guy on guy. We have been to one club once where I was making out with a guy and I looked over and I shit you not, at least 5 people were giving us the most disgusted look.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess we'll just go home and eat pizza now because fuck this place. Thought it was inclusive, but shockingly, a lot of clubs and spaces are not completely inclusive of all genders playing with all genders.
Yeah, adding on to that, I think, we've kind of found this niche with celebrating bisexuality in a way that other spaces do, but I think what really sets us apart from other like queer dance party specific events and play parties too is just really how it is truly a safe space, not just with the focus on consent, but with the acceptance of all identities. I
Right.
mean, you go to a lot of places in Boys Town and it's like, oh, okay, we're all white cis gay men. You're gonna get glared at if you're not that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And same thing, having my partner not accepted as a bi black man and things like that, or me not accepted as a femme, or my friend not accepted for being trans. You just find a lot of that in other spaces where you just kind of look around the room and you realize your identity or your friend's identity, just there's no one else with that. Whereas you go to our parties and you'll see people of all different gender orientations, sexual identities, racial identities, just all together with this just unifying values of wanting a
Yeah.
community of sex positivity that's focused on care and consent and all that stuff. But yeah, we really have attracted a lot of the bisexuals, and it's been really cool to see, especially, as we discussed, the bi woman experience is very different than bi man, and your experience is very similar to how John's was,
See, I can
like
imagine.
trying to go to sex clubs and stuff, and it's just kind of like if when everyone's saying their identities, when you're like, I'm a bi man, you start getting looks from people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you. So you're like fetishizing us for being bi woman, but then you're gonna give him a
Thank
dirty
you.
look because he's a bi man? Yeah. It's
100.
crazy.
It makes you a man to watch me make out with a woman, but it makes you less of a man to watch a man make out with a man. That's such toxic thinking and such old school thinking that it makes me crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, plus kissing guys is hot. Come on.
And like
No,
by
but we
that are literally like my biggest crushes. You guys are
See?
missing out.
a couple of our friends have attended a couple of your events, and one of them is they can be either female presenting or male presenting, and they can be very feminine and they can be very masculine, and they have really said how comfortable that they feel with whatever identity they choose to have that night at one of your events. So I think that's really cool.
To hear. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And something too, like about our events that like personally I really enjoy as well is that like all of our team is like such a family. Like we really, as we kind of described the like start of Sluts was
Right.
very just like a passion project amongst like friends who sort of like fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, those are good
And
friends.
we just like built like the community aspect, I think is also something that's kind of makes Sluts a little different. Like we're all just kind of like down in the crowd, like dancing and partying and mingling. There's no sort of like, I don't know, we like to make ourselves relatively present with people. So I think that adds to that like level of comfort people have with like being able to put a face to like the event that they're at. And like if
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in our DMs, they generally know who they're talking to and they can kind of feel comfortable coming to us for stuff. And I think that is something that, we'll navigate that because at some point it might get out of hand to be able to manage that with like just it being like a couple of us. But
Yeah.
a really special part of it for me is having those like personal connections with the people who come to our events.
Yeah, it's like less hierarchical. Like there is no, person at the top kind of. I'm sure there is someone in charge, but the feel of it is more that everyone is on the same level. I like that.
Yeah. Plus, when you can connect and vibe, it just makes the play that much better. Like, oh my God, we're really vibing and feeling. It's like, what a great place to be at.
All right, so this is our last question. Why is it important to you to have more visibility of queer and femme-led businesses, not just in Chicago, but in general?
It's funny thinking about like we're a business owned by two 25-year-olds. We're a Black owned business. We're a queer owned business, femme owned, and stuff like that. And just kind of like how when you look at our reality, these things aren't really supposed to happen. It's kind of like it feels like when you're set up a certain way in life, you have those barriers put in place that make it harder for you to succeed. But I've really seen firsthand how that kind of representation that people are seeing on our Instagram at the events is so meaningful to them. I mean, speaking back to John's experience, because with my experience, I'm a bi white woman. So we got represented a lot. Like,
True,
Yeah.
and
true.
that is totally fair. I am like the basic representation in every form of media, and that's just fine. But with my partner, John, he's a bi black man. Like, nobody wants to represent that in media. Nobody wants to talk about that identity.
Huh.
Nobody wants to acknowledge that intersection at all.
Right.
And I've had so many men come up to me at the parties and just say, like, this is the first space where I feel celebrated as a bi man.
Wow.
So I think with us being our authentic selves and just being like, this is who we are, this is our identity, and being so open about it, I think it really helps create that culture in the community where other people can feel very celebrated too by seeing that representation.
I love
Wow.
that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, not only are they not celebrated, but they're frowned upon or looked down upon in other situations. So, and it hurts to know that someone doesn't feel that way and has to come to you and say this is the first time, but also feels great to know that you provided that first for them. So,
Right.
yeah, that's awesome.
Love it.
From my perspective too, on like I guess just the importance of like them kind of like run or like led businesses and stuff. I know like personally just through this experience, I've gained, I mean, not only have I like become even like closer with the friends that we like built this, but I've also like gained this sense of self-confidence that like maybe I didn't have even just like this time last year.
Okay.
And just kind of like seeing the like joy through like pursuing my own passion and like building my own space was like such a confidence boost. And I hope like, I don't know, I guess especially younger, I just feel like as like a woman, sometimes you put like this just unintentional like cap on like what you can achieve or
Mm.
just sort of like the amount of success you can have. At least I did in particular. And it was maybe through my own like maybe it was my own like self-confidence issues, but I think it's really important to like show that there are these like strong female voices running this party alongside like John obviously, but it just hopefully can kind of like, I don't know, this sounds very cliche, but just to like inspire somebody else to like do the same. Would never have guessed that like we would have had the success we did. We're all working so freaking hard, and just to be able to like maybe inspire somebody else who kind of like lacks that confidence or like thinks that they're just like limiting themselves because of X, Y, and Z. It's it's silly to do that, and like don't do that, and you
Mhm.
can like, again, that sounds so cliche, but
No,
you
it's
can
true though.
do it if you like if you put in enough effort and like enough work into it and like really like go for it, you can make really awesome things happen.
Yeah.
And I think
That
that's a particularly important message for like femme and like women in general.
that was fucking amazing. I can't even lie. Well done. Yes, I
I
mean,
also wanted to say that I love the idea that you guys present so much about community. A
yes,
lot of
big
our
time.
friends in the lifestyle are friends that like we know their kids. They know our
Yeah,
kids. You know what I mean? Just because we sometimes get naked together doesn't mean we can't have regular friendship relationships and build our own little group of people. So I think that that's a really great addition to it as well.
Those E&M friends is like my chosen family.
right.
They're just people I can be like my most authentic self,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think people outside of like non-monogamous circles, it's like, oh, you're really close friends with all these people you fuck.
Right.
You know, so I get it, but I'm
Yep.
like, no, it's amazing.
How close can you really be if you haven't eaten your friend's pussy?
Or their ass,
Exactly.
either one.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, this has been phenomenal. We both really appreciate you coming on, and it's been such an honor, delight hosting you both, and we really appreciate your time. Can you tell our slutties where they can find you, follow you for events, more information on Sluts Party Chicago?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Sluts Party Chi, all lowercase, and then you can find our podcast, the Fun with Sex podcast, on Spotify and Apple Music, and our Instagram is the Fun with Sex podcast, and our TikTok is FWS podcast.
We also have a SoundCloud, right?
Oh,
Yeah, we do have a SoundCloud for Sluts Party as well.
Post
love
like
it.
that's our SoundCloud from each event. So, oh, and we have Natalie's birthday party. I don't know when this is gonna air actually, but
Next week,
okay. So we
will we
have
be in
our
time?
next event coming up next weekend for Natalie's birthday party. We're doing a little disco Studio 69 party
Love
next week. So should
Oh,
be
that's Natalie's birthday too. Okay, I didn't know that.
stuff. And then the following month will be my birthday. We're doing like a bloody slasher prom.
Oh, I saw
That's
that
the one.
one.
That's the one we're trying to come to because we are huge horror fans. And I saw that. I was like, fuck, we got to go. This has to be the first one. So we will absolutely keep you guys posted, but we're trying to come to that one for sure.
I just finished putting together a slutty Undertaker costume. So
So there you go. All right, well, yeah, this has been so much fun. And thank you again. And stay safe and stay slutty, everybody.
No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. Slide on into Suburban Slut. No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut.